So I'm Paul Williamson. I am Head of Architecture at BP for the customer-facing and trading organisations. I've been at BP for 14 years now, doing all sorts of different architecture roles across the business. Yeah, so we're using modern architecture principles like reusability, modularity, and the API economy to really shape how we develop our sort of overall technical ecosystem at BP and think really hard about how we evolve our architecture and engineering practices. So we recognize that we work in quite a complex business at BP. We have lots of different lines of business and they all have their own customers. But increasingly what we're seeing is that customers of BP may interact with different areas of our business. So I have an electric car, but my wife has a petrol vehicle. And so we may interact in lots of different ways, and we want that experience to be really consistent and kind of serve our needs as customers as well as employees. So one of the ways we're really thinking about that is in terms of digital business capabilities and how we build those out. So if we think about things like customer identity or loyalty services or payments, those services might appear in lots of different products at BP. And we want to be able to, in an ideal world, build them once, build them on a single technology stack, have people who are massively expert in those technologies and the capabilities that they provide, and then utilize them across all of the different products that need to consume them. And to do that really requires quite a bit of thought going in terms of the design stage, in terms of how you architect something and build something so that it can be reused. So thinking of APIs as products themselves, rather than just sort of underlying technical components. And then once you've done that, making sure that everyone knows about it. So it's one thing to build things, it's another thing that everyone understands how it works, that it's easy for developers to consume, that they can plug things in really simply and that they can go on and build product. So the sort of the modularity and the API economy piece particularly are things that are really going to underpin our sort of technology landscape going forward. So since I joined BP 14 years ago, I think the business environment has changed quite considerably, but also my role's changed as well. So I joined BP 14 years ago, really focused more on the sort of what was at the time the upstream side of the business. So internally, how do we sort of look for and produce hydrocarbons? Whereas now I'm working for the customer side of the business and really thinking hard about the services and products we deliver to our customer. I think in that same time, you've seen a shift in the way that all companies interact with customers. There are way more digital channels with which to interact with your customers than there were sort of 14 years ago. And so the work we do has just changed massively as a result of it. And we have to be, as a sort of architecture and engineering function, we have to be far more in tune with what our customers want and much closer to the business. And the types of things we work on and the way we design them needs to kind of take that into consideration. So if I think about back when I was building and designing things for our engineers, they like a lot of data and they like to see everything. Whereas that's not always the right thing to do when you're trying to design something for a customer. That people, like I'm accustomed many times of lots of products, right? And you want things to be simple and intuitive. You want a kind of an experience that guides you through a process in a really nice way. And so that just takes a bit of a different mindset. It means working a lot more with designers and thinking about how technology and design come together in order to provide experiences. And it's also about then the kind of the consistency of experience that I may have across a number of products. So it's really important to build robust partnerships in order to achieve a sustainable digital strategy. As much as I would love us to have all of the capability we need to deliver the products and services that our customers want, it's unrealistic to expect that. I think the rate of change of technology means that there's always going to be new things where you need skills and capability. And with any business, right, you want to kind of have your level of capability up until a point, but not so much that if suddenly you've got a bit of a drop in demand that you've got people sat around doing nothing. So you need partnerships, right? You need partnerships from a capacity perspective, you need partnerships from an expertise perspective. And what you really want from those partnerships is kind of trust and depth of capability, so that when you're working with someone, it's like working with an extension of your own team. So what keeps me up at night and what most excites me about our industry is just the complexity of our business. It's a really complicated business running lots of different across lots of different industries, right? We have retail sites, we have EV charging, we have oil and gas production facilities, and the rate of change at which all of this is moving. And so it's a difficult challenge, right? We have a lot of smart people in BP looking at how to try and figure our way through that. But it does cause a few sleepless nights thinking about how you're going to rise to that. But it's also hugely exciting to be part of that. I mean, if you wanted to be working in an industry at the moment that is going to make a difference, then if we are successful in the energy transition, that's something that's really going to be meaningful.